Hey guys, tonight's book is called One Winter's Day, and you'll probably notice that you recognize the character on the front of the book. He was in one of the stories that we read the other night, and this story also has the same author as that other story, which was called One Snowy Night. And it also has the same illustrator, which was Tina McNaughton. And remember, the author is the person that writes the words, and the illustrator is the person that writes, that draws the pictures. Just to go back over the parts of a book really quick, this here is the front cover. You have the back cover, and you can see that this is a wraparound illustration. You see how the tree, it goes on over to the next page. The snow, see like the wind goes across. This book is a touch and feel book too, which is really cool. His little hat and mittens and scarf, they're all really fuzzy. But anyway, this part here going down the side of the book, that's the spine. That's what holds the book together. It's what holds the pages inside the book so they don't fall out. So on the inside cover, we have a really nice landscape illustration. And by looking at this, you can tell that it's really, really windy. You can look at the tree branches. They're blowing in the wind. And you can see these little lines that the illustrator put in the picture. And that's to show you that the wind is blowing, and it's blowing really hard too. We can tell that the wind is blowing this way too because of the way the tree branches are going. Over here we have the dedication page, and the author, she dedicated her book, this book to, it says, "For Olivia Grace, with love." And then this one says, "For my father, Alan R. McNaughton." And you can tell that the author, this is who she dedicated the book to. And the illustrator, who was Tina McNaughton, these are her initials, she dedicated it to her dad. On this side over here, we have the title page, and that's where you see the title again. Sometimes a little picture, the author, and the illustrator. And then this is who actually, sorry about the glare, this is who actually published the book. It was published by Good Books. Alright, here we go. Little Hedgehog was making his bed for the winter when a sudden gust of wind blew him off his feet. It took hold of his cozy nest and tossed it high into the air. Also took his hat and his mittens and his scarf too, I believe. Well, no, they're actually hanging on the branches. Much more than it would have took them. Little Hedgehog trembled as the wind whistled around him, and he wondered what to do. He caught hold of his scarf, hat, and mittens before they blew away, and tried to find shelter under the tree roots. But wherever he went, the wind blew there as well. "I'll have to stay with Badger until this storm has gone," he said at last, pulling his woolly hat firmly over his prickles. Then he snuggled into his cozy scarf, put on his mittens, and with a deep breath, he set off. The wind was even stronger in the meadow. Leaves whirled here and there, and snowflakes filled the air. Little Hedgehog hadn't gone far when he bumped into a family of field mice shivering in the long grass. "I've never known such a storm," squeaked Mother Mouse. "The wind has blown our nest far away, and my poor babies are so cold." "My home has been blown away as well," said Little Hedgehog. "I'm on my way to stay with Badger, but I have just the thing to warm you up." And he took off his woolly hat and gave it to the mice. Now, wasn't that sweet? "Oh, lovely, lovely," they squeaked, snuggling down out of the wind. "Thank you, little hedgehog." So now they have the fuzzy warm hat and they can snuggle up and go to sleep. But poor little hedgehog, his head might get cold. Little hedgehog tucked his nose inside his scarf and ran along beside the racing river. Otter was on the bank, huffing and puffing on his paws. "Hello, Otter," shouted little hedgehog. "What are you doing?" "Oh, hello, hedgehog," replied Otter. "My fur coat keeps me warm, but my paws are freezing." So there's Otter, huffing and puffing on his paws, trying to get them warm. "Here, have these," said little hedgehog, giving Otter his mittens. "They should do the trick." "Thank you, little hedgehog," said Otter. "These are great. But shouldn't you be at home in this cold weather?" "I have no home any more," little hedgehog replied sadly. "The wind has blown it away." And running on, he cried, "I'm going to stay with Badger." By the time little hedgehog reached the woods, the snow was getting deeper. On and on he struggled, picking his way between the snowdrifts as the wind howled around him. A mother deer and her fawn were sheltering in the bushes. "Oh, little hedgehog, why aren't you in your nest in this awful storm?" she asked. So little hedgehog told Mother Deer about his nest blowing away. But as he spoke, he saw that the little fawn was shaking with cold. "Here, take this," he said, giving the fawn his scarf. "How kind you are," said Mother Deer. "Thank you, little hedgehog." So now poor little hedgehog, he doesn't have his hat anymore. He doesn't have his mittens anymore. And now he's just given his scarf away to the baby deer. Little hedgehog pattered on faster and faster. But just as he finally saw Badger's house at the bottom of the hill, he skidded on the icy path. "Help!" he cried as he went bumping and bouncing through the snow. He's turned into a little snowball. Badger was making tea when he heard a big thud outside. "Whatever was that?" he cried, dropping his toast. When he opened the door, a prickly snowball rolled in. "Gracious me," he said in surprise. "It's little hedgehog." Badger carried little hedgehog to an armchair by the fire and gave him a cup of tea. Little hedgehog told Badger about his journey through the storm, and then, cozy and warm, he fell fast asleep. And you can see him on his little pillow, and he's all curled up and cozy and snoozing. Little hedgehog stayed with Badger until the storm had gone. As they walked to where his house had been, little hedgehog was very worried. "How can I build a strong new nest if all the leaves and twigs have blown away and there's nothing left?" he asked anxiously. "I'll help you," said Badger kindly. "We're nearly there now." You see here's little mouse. And he's kind of peeking through the grass at him because he knows what's going on. "Surprise!" came the cry when they turned the corner. Little hedgehog gasped with delight. The animals he'd met in the storm had made him the coziest nest he'd ever seen. "For the kindest hedgehog in the world," they all cried together. Look at this nice little house that they all made him. And that's the end. So a lesson that we can learn from that story is that doing nice things for other people, doing things for other people out of the kindness of your heart it's definitely something that we all should do. And as you can see, you can tell that those animals that he gave his mittens and his hat and his scarf to, they really did appreciate what he had done for them. And, you know, they gave him something in return. But you shouldn't do things out of the, you know, just because you expect something, you know, somebody to give you something in return. You should do things because it's the right thing to do. And it's nice to do things for other people. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. And tomorrow night the story will be Lost in the Snow. And that one's a really cute one too. So until tomorrow night, hope you guys sleep well.